Now that you know how to kick and bank, at least the theory, let's talk about how it works in practice, because there's a big difference between what's on paper and what's actually on the pool table. A lot of the time, banking and kicking, you're going to have to adjust to what the table gives you, right? So if a table plays short or a table plays long. One of the ways I like to know if a table plays long or short, I'm simply going to go for the normal 3 rails. And I'm going to hit actually not this diamond, but this diamond with top and left here, right? Okay, and you can see this table is playing actually perfect. Now, a lot of tables, in order for you to make that cue ball 3 rail into the corner, you have to hit it right there, which is the second diamond, which actually makes the table play short. But this table is pretty good. It plays pretty normal, so we don't really have to adjust anything out of it. However, weather, temperature, if it rains or if it doesn't rain, will affect the way the table kicks or banks. So usually, the more the table is humid, the more it's going to play short. The more it's dry, the more it's going to play long. So it will be very different for you to play, let's say, right here when we're in Missouri, when it's a little bit wet, contrary to Las Vegas when it's 100% dry. So when you're going to play in Vegas in the big championship, the table might bank way longer than actually it does if you're playing in the Midwest. So that's just consideration to know, right? So bottom line is, how do we adjust that? Well, so if we go here, and we're going to start, with a decent bank like this. Actually, let's go exactly here so we know this is our aiming point, right? So as now, we're going to shoot it again as a guideline here. If I shoot this one, standard speed, I'm going to make it. I know there's not a big deal, right? So keep in mind, this is because I know the speed I have, and this is my standard speed. This works. Now, if a table, plays short, for example, you're going to have to hit it a little softer. So if I shot this one softer, watch what's going to happen. You can see how much he plays longer. He opens up the angle, right? Now, if I play the exact same points, but harder, you see I made it, but it went short. So less speed, longer, harder, shorter, okay? Now with that in mind, we can adjust to everything, right? As well as this, for example. Now, we calculated earlier by trying to project it. Now you also know that if I shoot this point here, it should come here. But if I shoot a little softer, then it's going to go wide, and I'm probably going to hit it, right? So again, if I go to the same spot, but I'm going to hit it soft, you can see I'm dead on, right? Easy peasy. So that's also how you adjust the table and how you adjust your kick and banks. That works as well. So the next part of this is English. So English affects the cue ball a lot. It affects your banking and your kicking a ton. So we're going to do the same thing. Respot that same exact shot. We know it works perfect when we hit the second diamond. That because the table plays perfect right now. If I were to play a little bit of right, so one tip of left here. I'm going to play one tip of left. Again, you can see plays long. If I play 2 tips or maximum left here, it plays even longer. And of course, now if I do the reverse thing and I played 1 tip of right, you can see it's going to shorten already. And if I played maximum right, now I'm short by a lot. So whenever you hit your kicks and your banks, make sure you know what English you're putting, what force you're putting, because everything is going to affect the outcome, especially on kicks. Banks are a little easier to adjust, I would say, because they're more natural, and because you're shooting into a ball, you don't have as much spin transfer. But it does transfer. Remember when we're talking about in the first lesson, if you put left spin on this ball is going to get right spin. So be careful when you do so. So if you're trying to bank, but you have to put a lot of left spin, just know that this ball is going to change trajectory a little bit, and it won't be the perfect spot that you have in mind. So this is pretty much how to adjust and how to modify the natural line, the natural path of the cue ball you have for kicks or for even bank shots.